Lately, I have really been craving okra, so I figured why not treat myself to some smothered okra? Stay tuned for how I make it. Hi, this is Athena at Gluten Freeology, where I make gluten-free versions of your favorite comfort foods and some healthy stuff too. So lately, I've been craving a lot of food from my childhood, and so when I saw okra in the grocery store, I knew I had to get it. So I ended up making smothered okra. And this is one of those dishes that will make you do a little happy dance in your seat, and you will be so glad that you made it. It's basically okra sauteed with onions and garlic and tomatoes, and you can add whatever protein of your choice or leave them out. So this is how I made mine. Can be nearly impossible to find fresh okra in most major grocery store chains. They typically sell it in the frozen vegetable section, but since I shop a lot at the international grocery store, they had fresh okra, so that's what I'm using. Going through removing anything that doesn't look good, and I ended up cutting off all of the tops and the ends of the okra just because they were covered in dirt and I didn't feel like rubbing them clean with paper towel doused in vinegar. So then I'm cutting them into thumb-sized pieces and setting them aside. So for my smothered okra, I went with 1 medium-sized onion and about 4 cloves of garlic. Finally chopping up the onion and garlic and then adding it to a large pot with extra virgin olive oil, seasoning it with Creole seasoning, paprika, and of course onion and garlic powder. And I also added some chili flakes. Didn't make it spicy, but I like my food to have a little bit of kick. And then you just let that saute until it softens. So for protein, I'm adding chicken sausage, and there's no pork or beef in this sausage. It's also gluten-free, which is necessary for me. So I'm just chopping up the sausage and adding it to the pot. If you are using frozen okra, you're gonna need to soak your okra or start cooking it first in the pan before you do the onions, because it takes a much longer time for frozen okra to cook down. But since I'm using fresh, I'm adding it in after the onions and the chicken sausage cooks down. Let that cook for about 10 minutes, and then I've added 1 can of diced tomatoes along with 2 cups of tomato sauce. And I also went back in with some more of the Creole seasoning, paprika, and onion and garlic powder. And you want to let that simmer on the stove for about 20 minutes. So for your shrimp, once that defrosts, you want to make sure you clean it by removing the guts down the center, like so. So once you've cleaned and rinsed your shrimp, you can add it to the pot. And I just let this cook for about 5 minutes. It doesn't take long for shrimp to cook. You just give it a good stir and go back and check on it, and it should look something like this. So your smothered okra is basically done. Ideally, when you are adding in the okra, you should be starting on your rice, but I ended up doing it last. You rinse the rice until the water runs clean. I did 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, boiled on the stove for 10 minutes and then reduced for the other 15, and it comes out nice and fluffy like so. And then you just go and top it with your smothered okra. This came out absolutely delicious. There's a few different ways to make smothered okra. This is mine. So I'm really pleased with the recipe and I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching.